For those of you that don't know me, my name is James Osyf. We also suspended our campaign at the beginning of December, and I'll take 10 seconds to talk about what that means. But first off, I want to say thank you for two reasons. The first thing is to echo the thank you that I gave out in Smithfield right before the holiday to this committee and to other work that's been done along the coordinated campaign and all across the last 12 months. You have built a machine. And that machine is going to be more and more important coming to flip the House of Representatives this cycle, and it's going to be especially important if everything that Michael just talked about with respect to redistricting happens. There will be a truncated primary time, there will be signatures that need to be gathered in a matter of weeks rather than months, and it's going to be the efforts of folks sitting in this room that allow the best Democrat to not only win that primary, but also to add to our collective numbers at the federal level, which is, I think, what we're all after. So that's the first thank you. The second thank you is thank you to everybody in this room that supported our campaign, donated, provided us resources. As a first-time candidate, I cannot thank you enough. We had the privilege of being able to boast the largest raise of resources that any first-time candidate in the history of this district. So that's amazing, and that can't be done without grassroots support from folks that are sitting in this room and all across the Commonwealth, but especially CD2. So those are my two thank yous. Suspension, what that means, pretty much what that means is we paused fundraising. Right? So every candidate's got to make a personal decision. It's not a decision for anybody else or for the overall primary, system, right? It's how you can best achieve the mission that you set out to launch when you launched your campaign. And that mission was booting Jim Kiggins out of office. And that's a representative who is an entrenched candidate who is going to continue to raise millions of dollars every single quarter. And like it or not, money is a huge name of the game, right? So the best way that, I think that I can contribute right now to CD2, if that map doesn't change, right, is to support the likely Democratic nominee and not have, intra-party resource fighting, et cetera, and kind of put all barrels towards the one outcome that we're trying to achieve. That being said, there are countless maps being circulated right now, and I don't think anybody knows exactly how this is going to turn out. So that being said, we got into this for a particular reason, and that is to represent, right, communities of interest that are here all across existing CD2, but all across the Commonwealth, and to flip the House. So if there's an avenue for continued service, that's absolutely what we're going to continue to do. So a little bit about me for those that haven't met me before. So I am not a politician. I am a business executive that's worked for the last decade in the defense innovation space. So figuring out how the government can better buy all the equipment that is housed right here in Hampton Roads and makes us the center of the nation's defense in many respects. Next, I'm a lawyer, so don't hold it against me or Neela over there, right? And ironically and frustratingly, I've spent a lot of my academic time and lawyering time on constitutional law. So on congressional oversight, on national security imperatives, on how congressional oversight should relate to the use of covert action and the employment of our armed forces overseas. And in addition to that, I'm an out gay Navy veteran. Right, so I was a submarine warfare officer, multiple deployments on the USS Norfolk, great boat, right out of Virginia Beach and Norfolk for 2 tours. I've served all across the country and had some great opportunities presented to me, from the nation's only undersea rescue command to serving as battle watch captain for the Chief of Naval Operations and the Secretary of the Navy at the Pentagon, cyber operations, and the like. And I'm still a commander in the Navy Reserve, serving out of Virginia Beach today. In fact, I drilled with my unit this morning. I'm the XO of a 2nd Fleet unit and continue to take that seriously and serve in that capacity. I'm also the son of a family of Ukrainian immigrants. And that's really what instilled kind of a drive to service in me since my childhood. I watched them struggle every single day to make life just a little bit better for the next generation. And that continues to be kind of my North Star today. That, along with living the LGBT experience, kind of taught me that it's important, once you make success, once you make your way, to extend a helping hand, right, to those that follow, and not to do what we're seeing more and more today, which is pretty much kick the ladder right to the side once you've achieved your success. So I've really lived that life in every single, way that I've served, whether it be in or out of uniform, and I'm looking to do that today because we are less safe, we are less free, and we are watching the promise of this country erode and be gutted right in front of us. I talked a lot about, my national security background, and, so every single day, my head's on a swivel in terms of when I put the uniform on, when I take the uniform off, when I'm advocating for what I truly believe in. But the armed forces, in my estimation, should just be like Congress in that it should be representative, right, of those individuals that it's seeking to protect, right, and serve. But what we're watching more and more is this military get politicized, right? And this military is being turned into something that I know that I didn't sign up for in terms of stifling dissent, political rhetoric. We just saw that with Senator Kelly, right, the other day. I'll tell you, I'm nervous each and every day I grab a microphone and talk to people when I'm not in uniform because it's the same, and Mike, thank you for everything that you're doing advocating for your service and your current situation because you're facing the same exact thing. So anyway, what I wanted to make a link to, though, was there's plenty of national security background and defense background, and that is essential, right, to Hampton Roads community. But that's not everything that goes into the national security of this country. And, I've been around this county, Southampton, Franklin, and the like since April of 2025, talking to you, talking to other constituents, and figuring out what those daily events are that are, a problem, right, for how they successfully navigate, right, the future for their families in the shadow of everything that we're seeing on the national stage right here, right? We can talk about Venezuela all day long, right? We can talk about the Ukraine conflict all day long, and those things are important. But what's also important is affordable housing, healthcare, right? Infrastructure reform, investments right here versus a $1.5 proposed trillion defense budget that this administration is thinking about for the next fiscal cycle. So for all of those reasons, right, I'm still in this to broaden that conception of what national security and national identity is and what the American promise is all about. And it's to protect those investments that are going to allow the next generation to flourish and not to continue to divide us, to distract us, and to gut that promise of our country that I think we're all collectively rooting for. So with that, I'll pause. I'm really excited to continue to engage everyone in this room and everybody that's, I guess, watching online. Please spark up a conversation after, and I look forward to the engagement. So thank you very much.